Hey guys, it's your best fight friends. I'm Kelsey. That's Rachel. We're your best fight friends. The end.
We're going to talk about Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou, which we did earlier this week, where we were talking about, hey, what if this awesome fight got made, and what we thought about who would win. But it sounds like both Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou are kind of disappointed, frustrated, fed up. This is an amazing fight both guys are willing to do. Take their own risk in taking the fight, right? Jon Jones coming up, Francis Ngannou taking on somebody as skilled as Jon Jones. And yet, I mean, there has to be a reward for that. And it sounds like with both these guys, at least, the side we're hearing is UFC's not willing to reward that.
Yeah, Jon Jones is saying that the UFC won't give him $1 more, not $1 more than what he usually gets. UFC 247, his purse was $500,000. To put that in perspective, Conor McGregor at UFC 246, his purse was $3 million. That does not include the upside portion of like what these guys get based on pay-per-view incentives, right? So Conor claims to have made a lot more, but still, that's a pretty big difference between Jon Jones and Conor McGregor. To put that in perspective, Canelo Alvarez made over $30 million in his last fight when he stopped Sergey Kovalev.
Boxing.
Weird model, UFC, but listen,
yeah.
I'm not here to, I don't even know enough to talk about that, but I do know that Jon Jones' thing seems to kind of make sense. Hey, I'll fight this big, scary guy that nobody else wants to fight. I'll move up to heavyweight. And in his interview with John Morgan, he stated that the UFC always said, hey, you want to make the big money, Jon Jones, move up to heavyweight. That's where all the big money is. So now he's saying, you know what? Coronavirus thing, quarantine thing has me thinking about what I want to do with my life. I do want to move up and fight the biggest and the baddest and the best and like take a chance. I'm 32 years old. I already got this decade of dominance behind me. Why not do this? And UFC is like, nah, we don't have any more money for you, John.
Just to play devil's advocate, I got two things. First thing is this. Clearly, the names Jon Jones and Conor McGregor are very different. If I say Conor McGregor out in my neighborhood, people are going to know that name. If I go out and say Jon Jones, I'm going to have to give a little bit more information. I don't think Jon Jones is quite a household name yet. So that's a reason for a difference in pay alone, just that. Secondarily, Jon Jones, Francis Ngannou are coming into this, hey, we'll have this fight while we're in the midst of a global pandemic. The UFC has lost their live gate money for whatever the foreseeable future is. So to even give fighters their same salary is really saying something when they've lost all the live gate money. We're looking at Major League Baseball, right? Who they're considering or are like taking a pay cut in order to get their season started.
So in the article that Jon Jones did an exclusive interview with John Morgan, and he said he knows that he's not trying to fight Francis Ngannou next month. He's saying that he wants to know he has a fight booked maybe 6 months from now or whatever, where theoretically they could have a live gate, maybe, by that time. And he just wants, I mean, the way it sounded, I mean, if you followed it on social media, negotiations were short. You know, they were like from Star Wars, right? Negotiations were short. He's like, I'm negotiating with them guys, and then he was like, unbelievable. And that was like a minute later, so maybe it's just a text message, I don't know. But basically, the UFC shut it down before you could even get to the part about...
I will say, from a marketing perspective or trying to build things, promoter perspective, I am surprised that it seems like whatever was communicated to Jon Jones from the UFC left him feeling like doors shut on this.
Yeah.
Instead of like, hey guy, let's talk about this. Yeah, we really want to make this happen. Like how can we make this happen? Let's really like think about this. When do we want to
I don't think they do though. I think the reason they don't want to make it happen is because there is some risk there. You've got Francis Ngannou, I feel like they want things to happen a certain way. You know what I mean? And they make fights and don't make fights based on their desires. It would be great for Francis Ngannou to become the Mike Tyson of MMA. He's got that crazy power. They still want to finish out their Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier trilogy, but they want that guy waiting in the wings for the winner, because maybe that guy just demolishes whoever wins that trilogy, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that, and he becomes a big sensation because he knocks out everybody in like 6 seconds or whatever. But it's a little bit of a risk to put him in there with John Jones, right? Because John Jones is a cut above most other MMA fighters. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just making up stories.
Let me just say
it seems
this,
like that.
If that's the case, let me just throw a something to think about out there. Making your decisions based off possible futures can be tricky. Anything could happen between now and then to Francis, Stipe, and Daniel. You're not guaranteed that Francis is going to fight the winner of that fight.
Yeah.
So not book Francis versus John Jones, because this might happen. I don't know. I feel like, especially because we're in the middle of this pandemic, Stipe has already been clear that I'm not fighting within a couple months here.
Yeah.
I'm fighting maybe in the fall. My head is here with my family and what's going on. I haven't been able to train. He's been very clear about that. So we're talking you're gonna bookshelf this because of something that might happen in 6 to 12 months. I don't know.
Bookshelf it.
I don't even think
I've
that's
never
a term.
heard that before. It's shelving. You shelving is something. But bookshelving, only for the smartest people can bookshelf. To be fair to the UFC, I just made up that story. Also, I would like
You made up what story?
the stuff about what I think they're doing.
Right.
I don't know what they're doing. I also don't understand their financial model. On the other hand, to play a devil's advocate, maybe it does make sense that, hey, you're going to get this same base rate, but we're going to give you the same deal we do on how many pay-per-views you sell. The more pay-per-views you sell, the more money you'll make. I don't know. I've not seen all that math before, so I have no idea. But I do know that Canelo's making $600 billion in a single round, and John Jones made 9 cents in his last fight. So that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, people. John Jones would destroy Canelo in a street fight, straight up. Do you like my ridiculous hot takes? Next on ridiculous hot takes.
Remember when you were doing hot takes?
Yeah,
and
I saw one
we had a little
day.
graphic of you coming out of a pizza box.
Yeah, and I saw one the other day, and I felt embarrassed about it. But I mean,
hot takes, high risk, high reward.
that's why you should like, comment, and subscribe today to Real Talk with Kelsey and Rachel. We don't always remember the name of our show.